Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Cop Noise TV. Hope you're all enjoying the sunshine. I'm coming to you live and direct from Guildford, from the Premier Inn in Guildford. Working away, so unfortunately needs must. But yeah, news broke yesterday from Fabrizio Romano. Of course, broke it that apparently Yan Diomande has snubbed Liverpool and wants to join PSG. Now, I won't necessarily say that Diomande snubbed Liverpool, as Liverpool have made it clear that they're interested in the player, or potentially was interested in the player. They wanted the player, they submitted a bid for the player. The bid was rejected by Diomande's club RB Leipzig. And then things went a little bit quiet for maybe 4 or 5 days. We was expecting Liverpool to come back to the table. There was stuff coming out a couple of days ago saying that, by all accounts, Diomande has agreed personal terms with Liverpool, and it's just now between the two clubs to thrash out a deal, Liverpool and Leipzig, when quite clearly that wasn't the case. So it just goes to show, doesn't it, all these kind of rumours and reports that circulate through the fan media, social media and the mainstream media. You just never know, you just don't know. But Fabrizio Romano, as I say, is one of the most liable sources, maybe, shall we say, of recent years. He broke the news yesterday that Diomande wants to go to PSG. So where does that leave Liverpool? Where does that leave one person in particular as well, and that is a player that Liverpool potentially want on their books, shall we say, and that's Bradley Barcola. Now, if Liverpool were prepared to stump up 100 million euros, maybe a little bit more, for Yan Diomande, does that mean that they're prepared to stump up the cash for Bradley Barcola? You would imagine that if PSG are going to sign Diomande, they're going to have to stump up in the region of, I don't know, 110, 120, say 120 million euros. They're obviously, I mean, they're a very, very cash-rich club at PSG, so they'll have the money, but you would imagine that they will also want to recoup some money. Because, for those of you who saw the video that I did last week about Diomande, you would think that if Diomande is going to go to PSG, he's not going to go there to be a squad player. So he's not going to relieve Kvaratskhelia from that left side. So you imagine that he's going to compete with Doué on that right-hand side. And where does that leave Barcola? Does that leave him wanting to fight for his place at PSG with Kvaratskhelia on the left? I just can't see it. I can't see a world in which Barcola will want to stay. You know, reports are that he wants to get first team football. Arsenal are interested as well. You know, I think that's one area where Arsenal will look to strengthen. You know, they've got Trossard and Martinelli. I think Trossard's a decent player. I don't rate Martinelli that much. I think he's maybe a 1 in 5 player. He might do a good performance every 4 or 5 games, something like that. I think that left side is definitely an area that Arsenal will look to strengthen, and I would imagine that Barcola is on their shortlist of players that could strengthen that. And again, coming back to Liverpool need wingers now. You would imagine that if Liverpool are interested in Barcola, they're going to have to sell him a spot on the right wing, because as it stands at the moment, on the left side, we've got Victor Munoz, who we've just signed. We've got Cody Gakpo, who, you know, awful news and thoughts go out to him and all his family. And we've also got Rio Moa. So we are very stacked, shall we say, on the left-hand side. So it's right wingers now that Liverpool need. And if they are going to go for Barcola, you would think that they're going to sell him a spot on that right-hand side. And look, Liverpool can sell that right-hand side to anyone now, because Mo Salah's gone, Kiers is probably going to go. So that right-hand side is open for someone to come in and nail it down as their position. So, funny one really, because I'm not mad that Liverpool aren't getting Diomande. I haven't seen that much of him. I've been keeping a close eye on him in the World Cup. Look, he looks like he's a good player. He looks very direct. He's tricky. But it's a hell of a lot of money. And I mentioned this again on one of my previous videos. Do Liverpool want to risk another £100+ million on a signing that previous £100 million players, i.e. Verts and Isak, still haven't clicked in this Liverpool team? And with a new manager coming in as well, a new style of play, potentially, new teammates to get used to, who's to say that it's not going to take them a little bit longer to click? So it was a massive risk, and in an ideal world, yeah, great if we could get Diomande through the door, but going off past experiences and last season, I think I'd prefer Liverpool to kind of chop that money up and spread it out, bolster that squad, because we've all seen that Arsenal's squad was the reason they got the Premier League title last season, and the reason why they went so far in the Champions League, because they had two really, really good players for every single position. And Liverpool last season, at some points, were barely fucking scraping a 1-11 together. We saw many a times in the middle of that season where we were hampered by injuries, and we had a load of kids on the bench. So personally, I'm not that mad if Diomande doesn't come to Liverpool, and it'd be interesting to see how Liverpool do spend that money now. As I say, I would like to see Liverpool kind of divvy that money out and really, really strengthen this squad, because it's going to be another transitional season for Liverpool, and we don't want to go fast forward another summer, still strengthening this, this squad. I think we need to kind of nail it down this summer. Let's get the players in, maybe a couple in January if we need to, and let's use this season to map out how we come through this season with a new manager, what the target, what realistic targets are looking like once we get maybe 5 or 6 games into the season, and go from there. But I don't know about you. Let me know what your thoughts are, guys, on this Diomande situation. Look, he's not gone to PSG yet, so we all know football's a crazy fucking game. It's a crazy world, that transfer market. Players are going for £100+ million now, and it could take a U-turn, but as it looks at the moment, Diomande wants the move to PSG. So let me know in the comments, guys, what your thoughts are. And as always, give us a like and a subscribe. Catch you in a bit.